Morning and welcome to Arena Gliwice here in Poland for the first round of the wheelchair rugby fives. We're 3 minutes away from tip-off for this first game of the Poland Cup between Leicester Tigers and Iks Jeźdźcy Mikołów, the team from Poland. So we have two teams from Poland in this tournament and two from GB. The first ever international wheelchair rugby fives tournament. And you can see on your screen there that we've also running the Polish Championship as well. And the first game played here starting at 8:30 this morning between Flying Wings and Balian. A resounding victory for the Flying Wings. And lots to come during the day. I'm Simon Starr, I'm from GB, I'm your commentator for all of the wheelchair rugby fives games. You can see the table there in front of you with nothing on at the moment, lots of zeros, but we'll soon be filling those up as the game goes on. So the teams are Gasztolt, Alexander Gasztolt, Karol Bobala, Krzysztof Ślubek, Tomasz Sozulski, Sławomir Jaguski, Adam Śmielewski, Adrian Mosinski, Paweł Szlammer and Adam Kamala. For the Riders, as they're known, team from Poland, their coach is Janusz Kozak, who is the coach of Austria as well, formerly the coach of the national team here in Poland as well. So a very experienced coach at the helm. Leicester Tigers, by contrast, their coach is Jamie Stead, the GB Paralympic gold medalist and MBE. And we'll now see the Tigers team. It's Lawrence Ball, Darren Bragg, Jack Coulson, Dan Harvey, Jamie Stead, who I've already mentioned is the coach as well. Richard Copson, one of the two co-captains, Taylor Goff, Tom Folwell, who is the other co-captain, Dave Wilkinson. Number 20, Joe Smith, we're sadly not going to see because he turned up at the airport without his passport, so he hasn't made the trip. And Vicky Blore Ross, or the boss, Ross, as she is known. Quite an experienced Tigers team there. A lot of players who've been playing wheelchair rugby for a long time. Many of them classifiable as well, so they play for Leicester Tigers in the Paralympic version. Similarly, on the riders' side of things, they have five of their players are also classifiable. So we're seeing wheelchair rugby fives as a variation that brings a lot of new people into the sport, which is an absolutely fantastic thing. So our referees for the game, one from Poland, one from GB, Mikołaj Koźmicki from Poland and Marcus Ross from GB. Marcus Ross just happens to be the husband of Vicky Blore Ross, who's playing and is on the starting five for the Leicester Tigers team, the one female player on either roster. So the table are getting ready to get the clocks ready. There's a conversation at the top of the screen there that's going on between the two referees and Ewelina Kaminski from Poland, who is operating the 40-second clock and the penalty box. So, just waiting for the referees to be happy that the clock is set to the 12 minutes. In the Paralympic version, we have 4 8-minute quarters. In wheelchair rugby fives, the games are a lot shorter. They are 12-minute halves, and it will be a running clock, so the clock does not stop until the last 2 minutes, or when somebody is in the penalty box. And there is also the opportunity at the referee's discretion to stop the clock if there's a break in play, a fallen player that needs sorting. Then the referees can request that the clock stops, which is a little bit of a difference. So I'll just go through the other variations for the wheelchair rugby fives for you. So there's 2 timeouts, 2 30-second player timeouts that each team has, and they can use them at any point in the game. It's used generally at a live ball situation, but it can be used at a dead ball. You can, and I hope we don't see this, you can have up to 4 players in the penalty bin at one time, which would be pretty chaotic because there's only enough space in the penalty box for 2 players, so the other 2 would have to wait behind and substitutes would need to come on. As we see Marcus Ross making his way towards the centre circle, and we're going to start the game with the tip-off. It's Tom Folwell for Leicester Tigers against Sławomir Jagiuszki, and apologies for my poor Polish pronunciation. Vicky Blore Ross finds Dave Wilkinson, number 22, and Folwell, who won that tip-off, gets the first try of the game. So Leicester Tigers with the early lead, and the Riders will have the possession arrow. So, great long ball there, but unable to gather. Gets it at the second attempt, number 2, Chmielewski for the Polish team. And to all the mothers out there, if I pronounce your son or daughter's name badly, please forgive me. And an error there on the Tigers inbound means that the Riders get the first turnover of the game and the chance to take the lead. Good long pass in there, but it's picked off by Vicky Blore Ross, making up for that early mistake. And there's a great long, would have been a long ball there to Tom Folwell, but the whistle had already gone for an equipment call, and we see the mechanic racing on with a fresh wheel, a bit like Formula One pit stops. If you haven't seen this sport before, it's a come-to-you service. The player has to stay where they are, and the mechanics come and sort out the problem. They have a minute in which to do that equipment timeout. So the Leicester Tigers, because their possession was interrupted, will have a new full 40 seconds possession. Referee's just checking something with the table. And Marcus Ross to inbound, a family affair here. Puts the ball in the lap of his wife. She finds Tom Folwell, no problems with that particular inbound, and Folwell puts Tigers back into the lead. So the Riders unable to capitalise on their early turnover. And nice to see we've got replays here on the live stream. So welcome to you wherever you're listening from, whether you're at home in GB or here in Poland. Hope you tune in for all the games of the day. Lovely move there by Adrian Mozinski. Super try from him to level it up. So Tigers' Tom Folwell been identified as a danger man there and being double teamed right from the start. They're trying to hold him into his own half. He's got 12 seconds to get over the half, which he does. Oh, fallen player there. But the referees won't stop the game unless Tigers' progress, yep, their progress towards the try line was halted. So that gives the referee a reason to stop the game. And the fallen player, as you can see at the top of your screen there, he will be righted. Use a mat to protect the floor. And if he needs it, there's now a 1-minute equipment timeout. So the Riders have interrupted the Tigers' possession. So once again, there's a new 40 seconds on the possession clock for the Tigers. So that will give them plenty of time in which to score. And the clock has stopped. The clock's now back up and running now. So Folwell with the ball, trying to weave his way through. It can get quite crowded in defence areas with 10 players on the court. But that's Dave Wilkinson, the man from Mansfield. For his sins, he has a season ticket at Mansfield Town. And that's not something you'd wish on many people. Sorry, Dave. Great long ball there to Chmielewski, and the 1.5 player for the Riders makes it a three-point game each. Darren Bragg running interference there for Tom Folwell. Darren, 59 years old, been playing the game for 25 years now. A real veteran. Played for the Tigers, and before that, the East Midlands Marauders. So, 4-3, Tigers lead it. A good close game here at the start. Oh, referee not happy with the inbound. And this is an absolutely fantastic arena we find ourselves in. 5,000 seat arena. You can see behind you all those seats piled up. They come right out, but it's an absolutely magnificent venue. The largest indoor sporting arena in Poland, as Adrian Mozinski takes it in for the Riders, and they're holding Leicester Tigers really well. They've only been playing a year, the Riders, so doing very, very well to hold the Tigers at this early stage. Both teams with players on the bench ready and waiting to come on, and that's a lovely move and the pass from Wilkinson, but Chmielewski cuts off the progress of Vicky Bloor-Ross. That pass doesn't find Rich Copson, Tigers number 7. He tries to put a hand out, but another good turnover for the men in red, as Sławomir Jaguski takes it away and finds Chmielewski once more. The man with the glasses. And it's the Riders into the lead for the first time. Once more we're having the inbound redone, but we're away and Tom Folwell double teamed once more. Clearly been identified as a danger man. Dummies the pass, uses his timeout very wisely there. Wasn't going to get the ball across halfway within the 12 seconds, so he calls the timeout. The referees will now swap positions so that the players get a bit of variety. And Taylor Goff, number 11, will be the inbounder for Leicester Tigers, former professional rugby union player with Leicester Tigers, an open side flanker. And he'll be looking to find Folwell, which he does with a great inbound there. Folwell, number 9, ex-military, came to wheelchair rugby through the Invictus Games route. He has a silver medal for wheelchair rugby, and there's Rich Copson. This time he is getting on the end of that pass, and he levels it up. So number 5, Karol Bobula, to inbound, finds Mosinski, and that's a great long ball. Yes, pulled in by Chmielewski there. That was great work by the Polish side. And it's Taylor Goff again who opts to be the inbounder. But, Tom Folwell being kept very high, out of picture here. So Vicky Ross, the 3-point female player. No reductions for female players. Oh, and that's a loose ball, and it's not Chmielewski, but Mosinski this time who crosses. So Tigers ringing the changes now. You can make substitutions after tries have been scored, which is not something that you can do in the Paralympic version. But because this game is a running clock, you have to have that ability. So Tigers bring on Jamie Stead, and he's immediately into the action. Passes back to Dave Wilkinson. Good wheels from the Tigers man, and he crosses. So it's Iks Jeźdźcy Mikołów with a slender lead, 7-6, but they have possession. So they'll be looking to double that difference. And Mosinski brings it away, and once again finds Chmielewski. That's been a very useful access for the Riders. Oh, good hit there from Wilkinson, but it can't stop Mosinski from getting in. And Wilkinson has gone long, but Glor Ross finds Folwell, and she gets the ball back. Jamie Stead putting a nice pick on there, and now the ball to Folwell. He's through, evades the defence, and Chmielewski trying to do something about it, but he can't stop Tom Folwell from crossing the line there. Nice work between the Polish team. The passing is very slick from the Polish guys. Great to see as Mosinski gets in once again. He and Chmielewski have been scoring the bulk of their tries, and they have that 2-try lead, 9-7. Tigers will not have been expecting this. And good pass there from Folwell to Glor Ross. And the other player on the court for Tigers is number 8, Dan Harvey. That long ball, can Chmielewski get onto it? He can, yes. Wilkinson powerless to stop him. That long ball has been very, very effective for the Riders. We're looking to see if Tigers dispossessed there. Tom Folwell looking for his an outlet pass down court, but having his pocket picked there, as it were, by Mosinski. He finds Chmielewski once more, and he gets through the attentions of Jamie Stead, and that's now a 3-try lead. So, bit of an upset on the cards possibly here, and again Folwell unable to gather, but Glor Ross able to keep the ball on court, and Tigers managed to claw one back. And there's an equipment call for number 12, Sławomir Jaguski, and he just needs a new tyre by the looks of things. The mechanics on the bench are trying to sort out what's needed. The table officials will be timing the 1 minute that is allowed. And whilst that repair is being affected, we're seeing the other players trying to avoid contact before the whistle and weaving an intricate ballet, as it were. So, inbound from number 7, Tomasz Szazulski. And it's Mosinski bringing it away. Excellent play by the Riders' number 4. He's a 2-point player, so has a good deal of function. And that's the difference with 5s. You get players with a lot more function than you do in the Paralympic game. Folwell's progress is halted there by Mosinski. Got back very well, but he can't stop the pass to Dave Wilkinson. So Tigers able to cut the deficit to 2. Trying to hold Mosinski in his own half, but they're unable to do that. But Stead and Bragg have got him pinned now, just over halfway. Bit of a loose ball there, Jamie Stead. Oh, unable to gather it. Bounces off his knees and the front of his chair, and it'll still be Riders' ball. So thought we might have had a bit of a turnover there, but sadly not for the green team. Oh, nice little hit there by Vicky Blore-Ross, but Jaguszki was able to gather the ball, and it's Chmielewski now. Good pick there by Jaguszki, but the pass is overthrown. So Tigers have been looking for that turnover, get one back. This is their chance to cut the deficit to just 1. The referee saying, I need you back deeper in the corner. Jamie Stead trying to force the Riders player into the 1 metre violation area. But the player held strong, and Jamie Stead, who has not played 5s before, this is his first game. And Folwell again, Mosinski again trying to dispossess the Tigers number 9. And he holds strong, and Dave Wilkinson getting the corner there. Good work by the 2 military players there, Wilkinson and Folwell combining well. And Marcus Ross signals the try. Yep, it's just waiting for the score to go on there. It took a little bit of a while for the Tigers to score, to flick over to 11-12, but Riders have now changed that again, and we're seeing Vicky Ross just trying to get the ball in. Yes, great work, and she's going to get to the line. No try, signals Marcus Ross, but it's still going to be Tigers' ball. And there's a bit of a breeze blowing in here at the moment in the stadium. So all my paperwork just went flying. And kindly people have rescued it for me, which is a great help. A 1 metre violation. So Mosinski forcing Vicky Blore-Ross into the penalty box, and she's been put in the penalty box by her husband. So that's going to be an interesting conversation over the dinner table on Monday night when they get home. So the Riders with the ball, long ball. Oh, just managed to save it. Okay, so whistle has gone. The referees are having a conversation. No, the whistle's gone for the end of the first quarter. Sorry, the Riders weren't able to get in. So we have a 13-11 game. So they're fast and furious, these 5s games. You don't realise that the time is disappearing. We do have the 2-minute gap between the halves for the players to refresh. And as you can see there from the scoreboard at the bottom of your screen, Leicester Tigers 11 and Jeźdźcy Mikołów are with 13. A brilliant display in the first half by the team in red. I don't think a lot of people were expecting that. I think Leicester Tigers certainly weren't, and they'll have been surprised. You can see Jamie Stead there as the coach. Interesting that he's coaching a team in a discipline that he's never actually played before. That said, he has a wealth of experience in wheelchair rugby. As I mentioned earlier, Paralympic gold medalist, European championship gold medalist in the past as well, and silver medalist earlier this year in Paris. So in the Paralympic version, he has a wealth of experience. These overhead shots are being brought to you by a drone, which is absolutely amazing, giving us fantastic shots there over the court. The courts have been laid by a machine, so we only have the wheelchair rugby lines laid on this court, which is fantastic, because normally we're in sports halls and venues where you've got a myriad of different markings and different colour lines for all the different sports that take place. So to have just the lines for a wheelchair rugby court is absolutely amazing and really refreshing, and makes life so much easier for both referees, players and coaches. So teams will swap round, change ends, they will play in the opposite direction, they'll play towards their bench, and it will be a Tigers ball, I think. Vicky Bloor-Ross was returned to the penalty box. She wasn't able to get out before the buzzer went for the half time. So Tigers will start the second quarter with a player in the penalty box. So a little bit of confusion. Yeah, they've got the arrow going in the correct direction now on the scoreboard, because it was Tigers that came up with the first possession in the first half. So it should be a Riders' ball. So I think the referees are just double checking that they've got it right. So Tigers starting with Bragg, Folwell, Stead, Wilkinson and Bloor-Ross in the penalty box, and number 5, Karol Bobula, with the inbound from his own backcourt, finds Adrian Mozinski, and he's through for the first try, and the Riders extend that lead to 14-11. Vicky Bloor-Ross is allowed out of the penalty box, but the referee loses patience with Tigers, who are showing no urgency in getting that ball inbound. So good work there by the referee, Nikolai Koźmicki. Good to see that he's giving the players the hurry up. The Tigers get the ball inbound, and it's Jamie Stead crossing the line for, I think, what is his first try in wheelchair rugby fives. So Sławomir Jaguski gets the ball to Śmielewski, and he finds Mozinski. Great work by the Polish team. Their passing has been really slick. I've been really impressed with the way they've linked both short passing and long balls in as well. So great work, Jamie Stead. Pressure being put on him, but they're not able to cut him off. The ball's down court to Folwell. Good pass from Stead, finding the player who also has Invictus Games medals in wheelchair basketball. And Tigers have got a turnover there. That's what they needed early in this second quarter. So Bloor-Ross with the inbound, also ex-military, and has gold in rowing, silver in wheelchair rugby and bronze in wheelchair basketball from the Invictus Games. She gets the ball there and finds Jamie Stead. Great pass there. Good interplay between the Tigers, and they cut that deficit to 1, which is exactly what they needed with just under 10 minutes of this game remaining. Mozinski has been an absolute star for the Riders, and weaving his way through. He got an early 10-second bounce in. He'll need to get another one in shortly, but nope, manages to cross the line before that was required. So excellent play by the Riders' number 4. Ross with an empty court ahead of her. Mozinski looking to cut her off, but that frees up Jamie Stead to make the unseen passage down court on the left-hand side of this court. Great work there. Years of experience. And Jamie Stead started off his wheelchair sports career playing wheelchair basketball, and Chmielewski did really well to prevent a steal there from Folwell, and he's put a lovely ball there for Mozinski. Those two are working absolutely fantastically in tandem. And you can see players behind the try line there as Tigers get the ball in, but good pick on Blore Ross. She throws the ball out, and Mozinski goes over as he challenged Wilkinson there. Players literally throwing themselves at the ball and at their opponents in order to get those interceptions, but he's perfectly all right. Players just bounce back up. They're tremendously durable, these wheelchair athletes, and the chairs protect them so well. There's very, very few injuries, which in a sport that's as hard-hitting as this, and we see Tigers come up with yet another interception there. Great work by Tom Folwell, putting on pressure at the inbound, and Tigers now level it up at 17 all, and again they're putting a lot of pressure onto the Riders. Mozinski with a great long ball. Oh, that's an amazing ball, and that's one of the differences you'll see between the Paralympic version and fives. The fives players, with the level of function they have, can launch these long passes down court, and the players have got the pace to get on the end of them. But that's great wheels also by Tom Folwell, and they're now 18 apiece, and it's number 5, Carol Bobela, for the Riders, who indicates he wants to be the inbounder, and they've got to make sure they get this in properly. They've done a good job finding Mozinski, but he's being pinned. A lot of pressure, and he's going to use one of those timeouts. So that's both teams now have used a timeout, and they've each got one timeout left, which they can use. Bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card, if I'm honest. Teams sometimes use it just to reset. On this occasion, the Polish team have headed to their bench, get some wise words from Janusz Kozak, their coach, who's obviously clearly done an absolutely sterling job in the 1 year that this team has been running, combining that with coaching the Paralympic version team from this club, and also the Austrian national team. Sorry, got Austria and Australia mixed up a bit there. But it's Iks Jeźdźcy Mikołów who extend their lead, and Mozinski trying to get a hand in on Jamie Stead. Treble teamed for a second there. He's going to need to get that ball over halfway pretty soon. Just manages it within the 12 seconds, and then Tigers with a nice passing movement there, and they level it up at 19 tries apiece. Bobela to be the inbounder once more. So if this is your first experience of watching fives on a live stream, there's the ball's loose there. Most of the rules are exactly the same as the Paralympic version. There are a few subtle differences, and obviously there's a lot more players on court, as Chmielewski does a great job in restoring that lead for the Riders. But fabulous pass downfield there to Dave Wilkinson, who's been playing the game for 5 years now, so a lot more experienced side, the Leicester Tigers, in comparison to the Polish side, and they're doing a brilliant job. Oh, Tom Folwell with a little bit of a hit there on the back of Moszinski, nothing unsafe, but and Moszinski was able to hold on to the ball and find once more his teammate number 2, Adam Chmielewski, and the Riders lead it 21-20 with just over 5 minutes remaining. Stead gets the ball over halfway and takes it coast to coast, as they like to say in the United States in particular. So 21 apiece, 5 minutes remaining, and we hope there will be daylight between the two teams at the end of the 12 minutes, but if there isn't, we will go to overtime, and the teams will sort out who wins in that overtime period. Oh, ball doesn't quite go to hand there. Chmielewski with a rare error, unable to find Slavomir Jaguski. So it's Tigers ball from the sideline. Law Ross with the inbound, but Tigers being kept high, most of their players, so it's going to have to be a very accurate inbound. And a good inbound there. Folwell gathers it after a slight readjustment and finds Wilkinson, number 22 for the Tigers, and Tigers back into the lead for what has been quite some considerable time. So they'll draw some comfort from this. It's taken them 2/3 of the second half in which to claw back that deficit they found themselves in at half time. And almost an interception there by Stead, but he wasn't able to get enough on it. And Moszinski has done a fantastic job. He's been the outstanding player for the Riders for me. And Folwell just manages to get over halfway, but he's got to be careful not to slip back over that halfway line. Does a good job in finding Jamie Stead, and he's got great evasion skills, great little dummies and shimmies that get him out of trouble, and he weaved his way to the line there perfectly for the Tigers to restore that lead, 23-22. Fantastically close game. What a great start we've had to this first fives game in the Poland Cup. On the other court, we have the Northampton Saints playing the other Polish team in the tournament, and we'll see them featuring against Tigers in the next game. That's going to be coming up later on, and the final game on court 1 will be Leicester Tigers versus Northampton Saints, a replay of the Premiership final in GB earlier this year, back in August, where Saints managed to pip the Tigers in overtime. So that will be an epic battle. But Chmielewski just managing to get that ball, and great skills there. Turned Tom Folwell inside out there as he crossed the line. Folwell in turn finds Stead as the scores are levelled up at 24 apiece into the last 2 minutes of this game. The hits haven't been as big as I'd been expecting in this. There's been a lot of good evasion skills from players on both sides, as Jamie Stead ably demonstrated there for you. In the fives, people being more functional, you can get some very, very powerful hits. We haven't really seen that to the fore in this game. It's been a lot more subtle than that, a lot more skillful. As Chmielewski manages to level it up. Law Ross with a pirouette on the inbound there, managing to find Wilkinson, and he finds Folwell. An all-military team up there for the Tigers. And Wilkinson, the one crossing the line, he provides medical training for the Army now, having left the Army. Now provides a service with a private company that trains army personnel in first aid. Great work for him. And Muzinski is under a lot of pressure, but he finds Smilewski. Oh, and Tom Felwell has left the court. And Marcus Ross decides that Tom Folwell will spend some time in the bin. And so the Riders will get a new 40 seconds. The Riders weren't in a position to score directly. That's why it wasn't a penalty try. But they will have the advantage of a mini power play with 5 players against 4. So the clock is now stopping because we're into the last 2 minutes. It would also stop anyway. Oh, but Tigers have come up with the turnover. Darren Bragg, the veteran Tigers player, managing to come up with that steal. He finds Jamie Stead, who's showing great wheels, gets his bounce in, which he must do every 10 seconds, that he is in possession. And Dave Wilkinson trying to find the corner for him. And one of the Polish players now leaves the court. It's Muzinski. And if you leave the court between the cones, then it's either a penalty try or you find yourself in the penalty bin, as Muzinski does. He's had an exceptional game. He's been part of every move that the Riders have delivered. And Tigers now looking to extend their lead to 2 as we enter the last 50 seconds. And Jamie Stead just managing the clock now. That's the years of experience. Tigers with a timeout in their back pocket, so you may well see them use that up. Jamie Stead keeping a close eye on the game clock and the 40-second clock, which is down to 17 seconds now, bringing the Polish players out of their key defence as well. So Vicky Tom Folwell still in the penalty box for Tigers. He'd be in there for a minute if the Riders don't score. But we've seen there Jamie Stead very, very tactically using that Tigers timeout. So they've got 15 seconds left on the game clock. So Tigers very, very cleverly controlling the clock there by using that timeout. Which, when you've only got a one-try lead, is excellent play. Both players with 4 players on court, both teams with 4 players on court. As we enter these last 10 seconds of the game, Jamie Stead again using the clock. Tigers are back to a full 5 as Tom Folwell has served his minute penalty rather than a try release. Muzinski comes in. It's a 2-try lead, but only 3 seconds left on the game. Great long ball. Muzinski gets over halfway. He's not going to be able to cross the line, and that's the end of the game. Tigers win it 27-25. The players congratulate each other, and Tigers there under the cosh for a lot of that game, and did really well to pull that one out of the bag. Didn't see many players from the bench used, Tigers keeping a strong lineup, but they were forced to do so by the power and the strength of Iks Jeźdźcy Mikołów, who ran them really, really close. So 27-25, the final score in that game. And if this was your first experience of wheelchair rugby 5s, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a tremendous start to the tournament. We'll be able to bring you the results of the other games later, and we'll update you. After this game here on this court, there will be a Paralympic version game in the Polish Championship, which also features teams from Sweden, the Norrbacka Vikings, and a team from the Czech Republic, Prague Robots. The Swedish team also has Davy van den Dop from the Netherlands playing. So a truly international competition here, which is absolutely great to see. But Tigers, having been given a real scare there by the Riders can be very, very pleased with their performance. They'll be disappointed that they weren't able to claim the scalp of the Tigers, but I was hugely impressed with what they brought to the court today, and I think they'll surprise Northampton Saints when they play them later in the next games. So this is Simon Starr from Arena Gliwice signing off at the end of this first Wheelchair Rugby 5's round of games in the Poland Cup. 3 games taking place today and 2 games tomorrow in this format of the tournament. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please tune in later on today. In fact, I can give you the timings for the next Wheelchair Rugby 5's games, which will be at 12:40, and it'll be Tigers playing against the Jokers, the team from Bydgoszcz here in Poland. So we will see how that match-up goes. I'm not sure how the Jokers have got on against the Saints. Their game has just finished on court 2. I can't see the scoreboard from here, otherwise I would let you know, but I can let you know what that is later in the day. Okay, so hopefully we'll have you joining us again at 12:40. Until then, this is Simon Starr signing out.